Welcome to English with Shams. In order to speak fluent English and express yourself in best way, you have to understand and practice important aspects of English language like grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, and communication. In our course, 30 Days English Speaking Challenge, these aspects are explained in detail with examples. In this video, you will learn short forms, also known as contracted forms in English, short forms in tenses, and short forms of modal verbs are explained in detail. In this session, we will discuss short forms in English and appropriate prepositions. These two topics we will be discussing in today's session. So let's start with short forms. Short forms or contracted forms in English. Simple present form. If we talk about simple present, here we can use short forms in positive statement and negative statement. When we say positive statement, another term for positive statement, anyone remember? What is another term for positive statement? Shahbaz, Faiz, and Sabi.
Affirmative.
Perfect. Affirmative sentence. Yes. Affirmative sentence is called as positive. Affirmative sentence is also called as positive sentence. Perfect. So if you remember here, while discussing about tenses, we discussed about different types of sentences like affirmative, negative, simple question, and WH question. So positive sentence is called as affirmative sentence. Perfect. Okay. So positive sentence. So like, we use I am, then rest of the sentence, here I am, then verb, if let's say, in case of present, the simple present form, this is not simple past form, this is a continuous present form. So I will correct it, let me correct, and then we will add to it. So, yeah, let's correct this one first. This is short forms. Now, this is continue. What about other sentences? Simple past form. Everywhere it is mentioned simple, simple. No, it is continuous present form. Continuous present form. We talk about continuous present form where we are using helping verb am. So this is the long form. So the short form of I am is am. And if we add negative, if we make negative statement, like, I am not doing like this. So instead of am not, you can, let's say, I'm not. This is the short form. Okay, similarly, he is. The short form is this apostrophe S. So what we are doing is, after pronoun, we are using apostrophe and then adding S here. So now this is the long form, this is the short form.
Similarly, he is not, then the short form of he is not is, you see here how it is added. You can write like this, he is not, or he is not, like this. This is the long form, and this one is the short form. Similarly, she is. Short form is this. She is. She is not. She isn't. She isn't. She isn't. All right. So these are the short forms which are used here in continuous present form. If we talk about continuous past form, continuous past form, so I was. So for positive statement, there is no short form. However, for negative, there is. Like I was not. So you see the was not, the short form of was not is this. Once, wasn't. Similarly, he was. So negative is he was not doing, or whatever extra words you can add. But was not, the short form is wasn't. Then she was not. Similarly, this one. So here you can say instead of two words, we can use short form with apostrophe. This is apostrophe, this punctuation. So we also discuss about punctuations, different punctuations, if you remember, here in our parts of speech. So these are punctuations after pronoun. Yes, punctuations, all right, like full stop. Now we are talking about this apostrophe, comma, or apostrophe. This one. This is apostrophe S. All right. So in case of continuous past form, this is the short form. Okay. So similarly, we are not, instead of we are not, you can use short form we aren't while writing. However, while speaking, you should use for a full form. While writing, you can use short forms. Okay, so in continuous past form. Similarly, yeah, this is simple present form. Yes, I do, he does, whatever. So as you can see here, for positive statement, there is no short form. But when we make negative statement in simple present form, so the short form of do not is this, I don't. Similarly, short form of does not is doesn't. Okay, all right. In short form of do not is don't, and short form of does not is doesn't. And if we talk about simple past form, where we use second form of the verb, like I did, he did, she did, they did, there is no short form. However, there is a short form if we add negative to it. For example, uh, they so no, they did not, he did not, you did not. So instead of the short form of did not is didn't. All right, didn't. This is the past simple form. And if we talk about perfect present form, this is perfect, right? Perfect present form, where we have the helping verb have and has. These two helping verbs are used as per, whether it is a first person, second person, or third person, again in these of singular or plural. So as you can see here, for I have, there is a short form. This is the short form. So he has, you can see, this is the one short form for have, and if we add negative to it, not, then the short form of have not is haven't, or you can write also this one. Similarly, has not, hasn't, like this. Okay, so these are the perfect present forms or short forms which we can use for affirmative and negative sentences. Now let's see in perfect past form. Perfect past form where we use helping verb had. So I had, he had, they had. All right. So we can use short forms for positive statements, like instead of I had, you can use this form. He had. Short forms of she had, like this. And when we add not to it, so instead of saying I had not, right, or he had not, like this, so the short form is hadn't, or you can also use like this. Okay, so short forms. So we don't use the short form of be, will, or have if it takes the final position in a sentence. Okay, so modal verbs, short form of modal verbs. So like can, could, must, should, would, they are called as modal verbs. So positive statement, I can, right? I can do this one. So you can add verb and other parts of speech to it. However, here we are just focusing on the short forms of helping verb with pronoun. So we can say I can, similarly you can, they can. So there is no short form for positive statement, but there is a short form of negative statement. So that we can say I cannot, he cannot, she cannot, they cannot. So the short form is, they can't. They can't. He can't. These are the short forms. And for could, similarly for could, I could do this one. You could do this one, right? So there is no short form for positive statement. And in case of negative, so for example, instead of he couldn't do this, so you can say he couldn't, or they could not, they couldn't. All right, so for could. Similarly, for must. So I must do this. You must do this. They must do this. All right. So in this case, there is no short form, but when we add not to it, which makes it negative statement, then there is a short form like I must not, you must not, they must not. So short form is they mustn't, right? You mustn't. All right. So normally in writing we go with the short forms. So we should be aware of short forms, because in some places you will see short forms are used. Similarly for shall, I shall do this, you shall do this, they shall do this, right? So there is no short form for this, but when you add negative, so you can say they shall not, you look at the short form for this. Okay, similarly for should, I should do this, you should do this, right? So there is no short form for positive. However, for negative, we can see I should not do, they should not do, you should not do. So the short form is I shouldn't, you shouldn't, they shouldn't. All right. And if we talk about will, so like I will, he will, they will. So there is a short form of positive statement. So here for I will, short form, and similarly you will, short form, and they will. And negative statement, just not is added. So for I will not, these are the two short forms which are. Similarly, you will not, these are the short forms, and they will not, these are the short forms. Okay, and if we talk about would, all right, so I would, they would, you would be doing, for example, I would be doing this one. So you would be doing this one, right? So for if we are using this modal verb, then the short form the short form of I would will be this. He would will be this, right? So he would, you would will be this, and they would will be this. So whenever you see the star mark, not good English, but you will hear occasionally. So like so for it would, right? So the full form should be used, but if some, because only for I would, you see the star is provided. Not good English, but you will hear occasionally. So we, especially with I would, it should be full form. Full form should be used I would. Short form should not be used, but sometimes you see people using this one. And when we add negative to it, like I would not, you would not, they would not. So we have different forms for different helping different pronouns. All right. And finally, imperative. For example, let us. Let us, the positive statement, long form. So you can say let's. This is the short form of let us. And if we add not to it, let us not, then the short form is let's not. This is the short form. So these are very commonly used short forms in English. And the synonym which is used is contracted form. Another term which is used for short form is contracted forms in English. So these are short forms in English. Yes, any question related to these short forms?
Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to our channel, like and share our videos, provide your comments, follow us, and practice to enhance your English fluency.